The referees in the recent Indiana Fever versus Las Vegas Aces game appeared desperate to keep the Aces afloat in the third quarter, but what unfolded was so shocking and controversial that it demands closer scrutiny. Newly surfaced footage reveals WNBA referees making baffling and questionable calls that have sparked intense debate among fans and analysts. The game was filled with moments so glaringly inconsistent that Stephanie White, the Fever's coach, reached her breaking point and earned a technical foul for arguing. The flashpoint was a particularly blatant foul by A.A. Wilson on Sophie Cunningham during a rebound. Wilson didn't just lightly contact Cunningham. She climbed over Cunningham's back with her arm draped across Cunningham's shoulders in what looked like a posed holiday photo. Cunningham had established perfect inside position and was ready to secure the rebound when Wilson barreled in from behind, essentially using Cunningham as a ladder to gain control. In any other American basketball league, this would be an obvious over-the-back foul, yet the referees inexplicably called it a jump ball despite having a clear view. Wilson's body language afterwards suggested she knew she had committed a foul, but the officials stood by their call, adding fuel to the fans' and coaches' frustration. Stephanie White's reaction was explosive, understandable from a coach who stresses fundamentals like proper positioning and playing within the rules, only to see the opposing team flagrantly break those rules and get rewarded. Her technical foul was inevitable, and even star player Caitlinclark jumped up from the bench applauding her coach, signaling shared disbelief. But this wasn't an isolated incident. Fever fans have documented questionable calls all season, revealing a disturbing pattern that feels less like incompetence and more like preferential treatment. The Fever dominated the game, winning 81-54 and holding the Aces to just 26% shooting, a commanding defensive performance that should have been the focus. Yet, even in a blowout, the referees found ways to favor the Aces, especially in the third quarter when the Fever led by 22 points after halftime, only to see phantom fouls called against them, seemingly manufactured to keep the game competitive. A'ja Wilson, a 6'4" powerhouse, was sent to the free throw line 13 times, a staggering number, especially given her physical advantages. Meanwhile, Caitlinclark, who constantly gets hacked and pushed by defenders, barely saw any calls go her way. The officiating discrepancy between Wilson and Clark is glaring. Wilson frequently got free throws with minimal contact, while Clark faced intense physical defense without calls, exposing a troubling inconsistency that fans and analysts cannot ignore. On top of the foul calls, the shooting performance and missed opportunities told a similar story of selective scrutiny. Wilson missed several uncontested shots inside the paint and even airballed multiple layups. Rarely do such mistakes attract social media attention. Meanwhile, when Clark missed contested threes, some from way beyond the arc and heavily defended, criticism was swift. This selective attention feeds into a narrative unfairly targeting young players while excusing established stars. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston dominated the post, physically overpowering Wilson and controlling rebounds. Boston's aggressive moves caused Wilson to stumble backwards repeatedly, and Boston finished with 20 points and 7 rebounds, a performance worthy of praise but overshadowed by the officiating controversy. Other Fever players like Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, and Aari McDonald also shone. Mitchell scored 25 points, including 4 three-pointers, showcasing her offensive versatility with reverse layups and sharp shooting. Howard continued her string of double-doubles, and McDonald's hustle and defense fueled the team's energy. Even role players like Michaela Tymons contributed significantly on defense, highlighting the team's depth and cohesion. This depth and improved chemistry reflect excellent coaching from Stephanie White, who has developed strong defensive schemes, optimized rotations, and made smart in-game adjustments, transforming the Fever from a struggling team into a championship contender. Gainbridge Fieldhouse has become a fortress, with fans energizing the team and intimidating visitors. The Fever's mental toughness is notable. They've bounced back from early struggles and criticism, using it as motivation to elevate their play. Their pace and style now maximize their strengths, controlling tempo, forcing opponents out of comfort zones, and optimizing offensive chances. Rebounding improvements from Howard and Boston have been crucial for defensive success, enabling fast breaks and sustained possession. Consistent three-point shooting from multiple players spreads defenses, opens driving lanes, and encourages unselfish ball movement, resulting in efficient offense and beautiful teamwork. The team's transition game has become a weapon, converting turnovers into easy scores, and they've shown marked improvement in closing out games in the fourth quarter. Despite all this progress, the officiating controversy remains a stain on the league. Repeated missed calls, phantom fouls, and preferential treatment of established stars over young players threaten the game's integrity. All-Star voting shows Clark ranked 9th at her position despite stellar production, and Boston's exclusion from All-Star consideration despite clear improvement underscores how narratives influence perception more than performance. The Fever's championship dreams are real but hinge on fair officiating. This game's footage proves WNBA refereeing needs serious reform before playoffs. Fans deserve better than obvious missed calls deciding games and tarnishing what should be an exciting league. So, what's your take? Are the referees biased, or is this incompetence at the highest level? Share your thoughts, hit like if this fired you up, and subscribe for honest WNBA coverage and truth.